Hey, Trail people. You're listening to the Trail Network podcast hosted by Rachel Drake, Leah Yingling, Hilary Yang, and Katie Asmith. We're here to celebrate the community, connections, and untold stories within trail running. Today, we are catching up with Hilary, Rachel, and myself, Leah. It's been a while since we've gotten this trio on the pod. How are you guys doing?
Good. It's good to see your faces. Totally. It's like, what combination of the Trail Network podcast do we have this time, guys?
I know. It's always hard to balance schedules. I think everybody has their hands in a million things. You two especially. I don't know how you all do it. Rachel, I think your schedule lately has been like a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. anesthesia rotation and just enough time to maybe put one or two of your babies to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really full on, like, sicknesses, and I have a in-training exam. It's kinda like a board exam coming up in a couple weeks, so I'm, like, also trying to study and run and be there for my family and be a good doctor, and it's really hard. Oh, and breastfeed. Like, you don't realize how much time it takes to you gotta wake up earlier to empty your boobs before you go to work, or at least I do, and then at work, you gotta find time to also empty your boobs and make sure the milk gets in the fridge, doesn't spend too much time at room temp, label it, transport it home, not forget it in the fridge, not forget any parts, clean the parts, keep track of, like, what to thaw and what to freeze, and it's, like, really full on top of everything else. Yeah.
Dude, just that is like insane.
That's a job. That's a
That is a
job.
full-time job.
Like, single-handedly growing another person. Like, Chloe's not eating any solids yet, so she like, all her weight gain
You're
is
it,
from
mama.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I mean, before we get into all the other things you're doing and wearing and all the hats, Rachel, like that on its own is like amazing. Just your commitment to like still making that work and just the extra time, like you said, that you're budgeting for. And I'm trying to picture you like in the hospital and they're calling your name and you're like, I'm almost done. And
Yeah,
like,
I'm literally, like, intubating patients, putting IVs in, putting arterial lines in
And your pump's like,
while I'm pumping.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, yeah. I have a wearable pump, but, like, I can tell based on how much milk I get whether I'm having a relaxing, like, steady day or whether I'm super stressed
That
based
is
on how much
crazy.
because, like, your body won't release the milk unless you're relaxed, so it's kinda hard.
Do people say anything ever, or do they just take it in stride because they got their own problems?
There's been a few times where people are like, "What is that sound?" Or like, "Oh, I thought you just had really big boobs," and then, like, an hour later, you didn't.
Like Pamela Anderson, like
People are pretty cool, though. I feel like I've been, like, really really, supported in my breastfeeding journey, which is nice.
can I just like that's it's sort of interesting to me. I mean, so many of my friends who have babies this year, I feel like everyone's got a different like relationship with breastfeeding or just like how they're managing it. And you're one of the few that are like really having to be public facing and not have the privacy. Do you feel like it's changed your relationship with like how you talk about your life and stuff, like with patients? Because you have to be a bit more open about, like if people ask, like, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I just had a baby," and blah, blah, blah. Like, it just sort of is an interesting thing, right? Like, it's just another way of relating to people and maybe kinda cool for them to see you just, like, balancing it all.
Yeah, and I do like, this is I don't know, maybe a little bit I don't know if this is necessarily true, but I do feel like being a woman, being a mom, like, makes you a more empathetic person, more caring doctor. Like, I'm doing a rotation right now at the children's hospital, and when I take babies back to surgery, which is what the anesthesiologist does, I'm like I see the look in the parents' eyes like, my gosh, you're taking my baby, and it's like, I understand. I've
Hmm.
been there. Lewis had surgery last year, and, like, I get it. It's, like, really scary, and I feel like if it comes up that I have kids, I feel like the parents feel more comfortable. They're like, "Okay, you get it. You have a kid around the same age," or whatever. So,
I really
that's
love
nice.
that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That must be cool for you as just, like, a human and a doctor to be able to, like, provide that to people, that comfort.
Yeah.
What do you think has been like the biggest growing pain going from one one child to two children as you're trying to like balance also being a doctor and runner and everything else you do?
It's right now, it's just such a different game than it was when we had Lewis because I decided to take a sort of gap year during medical school when he was born, so we had a lot more free time. We just had him. We also didn't have any childcare for him, but it didn't really matter because Tyler and I were both just running, and we had a lot more flexibility, and now so much of the home stuff and the kid stuff falls on Tyler because I'm like you said, Leah, I'm gone all day. So Tyler literally does everything, and then I come home and he's like, "It's like I have a 3rd kid because you just, like, come home and throw all your stuff everywhere and, like, are kinda worthless." Like, in a loving way, he's, like, kinda worthless, like, fall onto the couch and are like, "Feed me."
Feels
So,
fair, right? When
yeah.
you get home, someone's gotta take care of you for a little bit.
Yes, but also, like, he's been taking care of 2 people too, and, like, Leah, I know you guys just had a sickness, but, like, now Chloe's got a ton of congestion and Lewis is sick, and it's a lot. Like, I tip my hat to you.
Oh, especially when you're not feeling 100%. We got wiped out last week from an illness. It was our first like family-wide illness. And I told Mike he was lucky because he and I have never gotten the exact same illness at the same time. So I'm always looking at him like, you're being a drama queen. You're over exaggerating. This is fine. You just
The
you're acting like you
man
have man flu.
flu.
Yeah. And then if he would have this coughing spell, I'm like, "Okay, I get it, you're sick, but this time we had the exact same illness, and we're laying in bed the one night, and I was like, "Mike, this is pretty bad." And he's like, "I know, right?" But it's really hard because you need to take care of another life.
Yeah, there's no time off.
There it is.
There it is. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Uh
That's a lot, guys. And so Rach, like I know you're run commuting to work, right? Like how are you fitting in the other pieces that are not working and not momming as you kind of like find yourself again in other ways?
Yeah, the run commute's been so blissful. Like, I am able to actually trail run to work, which is so nice, and I put a anesthesia podcast on and do a little bit of learning while I'm running, and it feels so good. And also, I don't think I've said this on the podcast, but I think the last time I was on here, we were all talking about, like, what races we were gonna do, what we're looking forward to this year, and Leah was like, "I'm gonna do UTMB."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I wanna do OCC, but could I do UTMB?" And guys, I signed up for UTMB.
I'm so excited.
That is exciting. Oh my gosh. I love how you're like, "Now I'm gonna do the whole thing."
It's one of those things you're like, "This is what I really have wanted to do for a long time," like, ever since I learned about trail running. That's actually, I think it was one of Billy, your husband,
My
Hilary,
Billy. Yeah.
your Billy Yang's videos that I was like, "Whoa, this is so cool," and
That one is pretty iconic. That was the Nike one for Mont Blanc,
uh-huh,
probably. Yeah.
uh-huh, yeah,
Yeah. Freaking
so good.
incredible. I still haven't done the full loop. I feel like I really should by now.
Do it,
I
sign
know, I
up.
know.
So, Leah,
Ugh.
thanks for, like, being brave and just saying you were going for it.
Why
Yeah.
not now, you know? I think with UTMB, often you see people have a lot of success the first time, but also like on return trips too because of a first visit there. So I do think your
Mhm.
first loop, you're going to learn a lot, and I know you're going to do great. I feel like Rachel's able to like get in such good shape doing like what she is doing right now. And Rachel, I think you should talk a little bit about like I know you've talked a little bit about this in the past, but just like incremental gains over time and really how they add up because I think we have a lot of working professionals, moms that listen to the podcast who might think that you need to be hitting super high mileage, doing these glamorous workouts. But Rachel, you've been doing, 30 miles a week, largely on your run commutes. And man, you're getting back to it, and it's really, really inspiring. Any tips for some of our listeners?
I was just running with Sarah Humble, who's a local trail runner in Salt Lake. She's running Black Canyon this year, and we synced up at one of, Mike, Leah's husband's community runs called Shummet Shots. We were
I love those.
running together, and she was talking about Black Canyon. I was asking her how training was going, and she said, "Well, I'm not doing, like, super high mileage," and she kinda told I think she said she's doing, like, 70 or something, 70 miles, and I was like, "That's plenty." Like, when I ran Black Canyon, I think I peaked out at, like, 60 miles, which always feels weird when your weekly mileage doesn't even reach the distance of your race, but it actually I think it's so much better to be a little bit undercooked, feeling fresh, feeling healthy and hungry than to overdo it, and like Leah said, like, you can really do a lot with a little as long as you're consistent, and I think another thing that Leah and I have been talking a lot about on runs is how being postpartum and, like, feeling pretty good cardiovascularly, but also wanting to not go too crazy too soon is, we think, going to lead to some really good gains down the road and staying healthy if we can avoid having setbacks with injuries or, like, overdoing it.
Yeah, and it's something where you have to self-regulate, right? Like, no doctor standing over you and being like, "Oh, you can't do that." Like, there's no one sort of checking up on you. It's only you listening to your own bodies, but also trying to, like, look ahead and be like, "Hey, like, even though I wanna do this now, like, my future pelvic floor is gonna thank
Yeah,
me if I
totally.
Yeah.
don't, like, rush into this." Rach, when you run commute, you do both directions, right? To work and from work?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
what's the distance like for that?
1.8 miles each way if I go the most direct way, but there's all these different variations, like, I can go up and make it, like, 3 miles, 3.5. I could go up 1 mountain or 2 mountains. I haven't gone up any real mountains yet, but I am thinking when Chloe starts really sleeping through the night, I'm gonna start, like, getting up a little earlier and trying to go up some mountains in the dark, which will also be great UTMB
It
training.
will.
Mm?
Totally. Do you ever throw in, like, speed work or anything like that, or is it just sorta like, this is just, like, building volume type of mileage? I'm so curious.
How much is Tyler paying you to ask that question? He just
Right?
the other day, he goes, "Maybe we should start throwing in some workouts," because he had been writing me some workouts that I was doing, but I haven't been doing them for the last few weeks just because I don't even look at my training plan. I'm kinda just trying to run where I can, but when I was doing some workouts, it would be uphill strides, either on the treadmill or on the trail, or doing, kind of focused power hiking, so, like, 5 by 3 minutes uphill power hiking sorta thing, with the goal being, work on that cardiovascular system, but do things that aren't gonna tax my musculoskeletal system, so, like, doing really fast, flat stuff. Leah and I did do a track workout the other
It was
week, which
fun.
was it was pretty good.
Yeah.
We were pretty good.
It was I think that was our first track workout we've ever done together, and it was so nice because it just felt like no pressure. It was probably both of our first time on the track postpartum, and we're like, "Let's see what this looks like," and it wasn't half bad.
It wasn't half bad. Yeah, it was super fun. I think, yeah, things like that, and then uphill because it's just so much easier on the body, like, biomechanically.
I feel like too, just for those of us who haven't had a kid but are just out of shape, which is like me, um, I think it's a nice attitude. I feel like that's a good like January vibe is just to like be curious about what you can do, but not judgmental. And like you guys have good excuses for not being judgmental, but I do feel like that attitude, if I look at my own like racing and just life, like my best performances are always when I just like let go of my
Yeah.
expectations and I'm just sort of like, well, I'm here. And that's why I was curious with like your run commutes, Rach. Like when I was in the corporate world, I used to run commute. And when I went back to school, I would run commute with my little laptop in my bag. And
Mhm.
some days I would just sort of throw in some strides because I felt like it. And then other days I would do like the bare minimum. And I just think it's like interesting feedback, right? To sort of be like, what's working today? What's not?
I love that quote. Is that from Ted Lasso? The "Be curious, not judgmental"?
It might be. I'm sure I stole it from someone, you guys. I can't be the first one.
Yeah. Oh, I've been thinking about this so much lately, this, like, notion of, like, joy and curiosity, and I think I'm thinking about it's, like, seeped into my life in a lot of different ways through first through running, because I feel like you always run better when you're not stressed, when you're relaxed and, like, joyful and playful, especially trail running because it's such a creative way to move your body, but I've been thinking about it a lot too when it comes to learning anesthesia. Like, how can I motivate myself to learn this out of joy and curiosity, not out of stress for doing well on the test or for, like, pleasing some higher up at the university. Like, I think it's just, like, such a better way to live. Like you said, like, be curious, not judgmental, and it can take a lot of effort to have that mindset, but it's so good.
It's so true because I feel like we are the first people to be judgmental of ourselves in any capacity of life, whether that's academic, like you are, like work, athletic. We're always most judgmental when it comes to us and our own standards of ourselves.
Especially when you've gone through this big another big life change and you're like, "Okay, getting to know the new bod, running the same routes I used to run. My watch is telling me that my projected marathon time is 3 times slower than my PR."
So rude.
But, like, how do you reframe that into curiosity and thinking, "Okay, sure, that's where I am right now, but think about how much progress we can make."
All right, quick pause to thank Osprey for supporting the Trail Network podcast. If you've ever gone out for a run and spent the whole time adjusting your pack or fussing with your bottles, stopping things from bouncing or sloshing around, I mean, we feel ya. It's kind of the worst. Osprey's running hydration is built to do exactly not that. Their packs move with you, the belts stay put, and the bottles are super easy to grab and drink from without having to slow down or stop. We emphasize hydration a lot here on the podcast. It's super important. And having gear that works with you, not against you, is a huge piece of that puzzle. Whether it's a quick run or a long day in the mountains, Osprey's packs are solid, thoughtful, and well designed from people who clearly know how to run. You can check out their running hydration packs, bottles, and belts at osprey.com. Back to our show.
Definitely. Yeah, Hillary, you felt like you were having a lull in training there when you were really, head deep, neck deep, just so deep in the film. What have been tactics that you've taken as you're kind of stepping back into the training game?
Living life again. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think all the burnout sort of hit me in December cumulatively, and I couldn't run. Like I literally couldn't run. I just was like so tired. And I'm really glad I listened to my body because I kind of feel like I was borderline like adrenal fatigue or just like really burnt out, you know? And, I mean, if you look at my year and, like, I went, like, Western States, Hard Rock, the Mammoth, Asia trip, film, I just, like, didn't stop, and it at some point, it all catches up with
Mm.
you, right? And, like, it did. And so I think that was just, like, so important, and I did a ton of walking. I love walking.
Walking is
I
nice.
I feel like yeah, and I actually think I'm, like I thought I would sort of, like, have more mojo in January, but, like, there's definitely times where I'm like, "I'm just gonna hike," and I'm still sort of, like, listening to my body, but I'm just trying to move every day and trying to get out and trying to, like, kind of, like, take it up as I feel good about it, but it's, like, not something where you can really put a, like, time on it. It's not like, "Okay, well, I took 3 weeks off, like, now I'm good again," right? Like, now we go hard. It's like yeah, just sorta interesting and, like, kinda humbling, like you said, Rach, when you're out doing, like, the same routes you've done before, you have times to compare it to, right? Like, we always have a point of comparison, and so I think for me, like, I've just been logging a lot less of my, like, workouts and stuff, and I'm not really, like, checking Strava. I'm not even, like, really putting it on Strava because it's sorta like doesn't matter. It's like that does matter in some ways, and, like, it's nice to be able to look back on it, but other times it's like, well, I'm just kinda doing this for other people, as much as anything else. And so sometimes I'm like, I know I got out. Like my Aura ring tells me how many steps I took and like how active I was. And maybe like that's enough. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just like interesting to kind of hold it all. And I mean, Billy's ramping up his training. He's doing Miwok 100 in May, which is super fun. And so I feel like I'll like tag along
Mhm.
onto that as like, he does more adventure runs, but it's just like it's why I love running. It's why I fall in love with running over and over again is it's like a mirror to life in so many ways. And sometimes it's like that's where all the fire comes from. And sometimes it's a little bit more of a reflection of what's really going on? And it's okay. It's part of
It
it.
really is. And Hillary, you had to make a pretty tough call recently, stepping back from RDing Mammoth. Can you talk a little bit about what went into that decision? Because I'm sure there was a cumulative effect of the year you had, but also probably a lot of inner workings of, yeah, that you were thinking about for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting because it was like, year 1, but really like 2 years of work to get the race off the ground and where it was, and a huge part of my life for those 2 years and something I'm so insanely proud of and so, like, will always cherish kind of the experience. And I think as I went through it, I realized, like, the actual RD role for a race like that at the kinda scale that it needs to grow is a full-time job, and it really is. It's like it's gotta be sort of this bigger thing, and a lot of the actual RD stuff is just very far away from maybe, like, what lights me up and, like, the things that really kind of fill up my soul, and I could feel it. I mean, even during the race, like, the things I was most excited about were the broadcast and, like, all the media and the storytelling and all those things, and, like, figuring out how many potatoes go to an aid station at 4 a.m. and like how to get porta potties out to a 4x4 location. Not so much, like, and the ratio of that is much higher. No, I loved it all. I think it's like one of those things where it's like, just because I can do something doesn't mean it's necessarily the thing I should be doing. And so I had a little honest chat with myself about where I want to spend my bandwidth. And we have such limited time really, and, like, this is a season of time, and I mean, I don't know if you guys followed the 2016 trend thing. I kept meaning to post something about it, but, like, everyone's been posting, like, their 2016 photos and memories, like, compared to now, and it just is sort of shocking because in some ways it feels like it was yesterday, and then in other ways, it's like that was a decade ago, and, like, look at who I am now versus who I was then, and I looked so young, and I didn't appreciate it. I had no wrinkles, like, but, like, just, how much life that we've all lived in the last decade, and you think of, like, well, what will a decade from now look like? And just sort of like we're in this, like, beautiful, magical season of life where we can do anything, but also it passes by really fast, and so, um, long-winded way of saying I really sort of reset some of my goals and dreams and things that felt really important. And the film project just really highlighted how much connecting with other humans and telling stories and being vulnerable and authentic and leaning into the relationships that you need to build in order to tell those stories really is something that I love. And so that was sort of like the reset that I needed. And so I've already got another film project that I'm directing this year with Carrie again. We're gonna
Keep
keep the
all
party
rolling.
going and keep working together. And so that was super fun. We had a call today, sort of starting to hammer out the travel schedule and all that. And yeah, just continuing. I'll tell you more about that as that sort of
I
gets
was gonna
solidified.
say, can you give, like, just a little teaser?
Oh man, give me a
Just
couple
a
more
little
weeks to like
like,
get it all
is it
going.
about is it about trail running?
It's about trail running. It's another female trail runner. She's gonna be at Black Canyon, so I'll be out there. She's got a cool story she wants to share, and it just seemed like a really like kind of powerful opportunity at a time. The story kind of came to me at a time when I was sort of trying to figure out the next steps, and so it was sort of like funny how that happens. So yeah, and I'm really excited about that. And in some ways, it's sort of like the year feels more open ended than when I sort of had the mammoth. Is this like constant, but also I'm sort of welcoming that space right now, and like excited for kind of how that's all coming out and coming together already, and we're only a few weeks into the year, so it's like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, lots of
Kudos to
reflecting.
you. That's so awesome to just recognize that there was something in your life that was taking up a lot of time and energy that was anything less than, like, the utmost source of inspiration. Like, imagine if everyone was able to recognize those spaces in their life where they're like, "You know, this isn't giving me joy," or "I'm not inspired by this." Like, I feel like I see this a lot at the hospital too. There's people in positions, I'm like, "Why are you doing this? Like, you don't like this." Like, whether it's, like, administrative stuff or research or whatever it is, I'm like, "Guys, just do the things that you like to do." And I get that maybe it's not as prestigious or something, but, like, it literally makes the world a better place when you see people in a
Mm,
role that they love
Mm.
and embrace.
yeah. Thanks, Rach. Yeah, it was really hard. I think I wrestled with it a lot because I thought, "Oh, what will people think if I leave after the first year?" Like, it's like, it just wasn't the arc that I wanted for that story, and I think, ultimately realizing that doesn't matter at all, and people really have their own things going on and will think about it for, like, half a second and move on, and, like, it really, like, has to come from a place of just, like, what is lighting me up, and, like, once I stripped everything
Mhm.
else away, it's like, yeah, like, this is what's true. um,
Mhm.
and, like, I think Hillary at 36, almost 37, made a decision on that a lot, I think, more decisively than I would have a decade ago.
Totally.
So if we're talking about
Yeah.
growth and just like chapters and things, I think I'm proud of just becoming someone that's like, I've done scary things. I've taken big leaps when I left the corporate world, when I went back to school, when I sort of like pulled all those safety nets out to make myself this life. It's like I did those really hard things, and like I'm a firm believer in, like, the more you practice doing scary, hard things like that, the easier it gets to
Yes.
sort of, like, do it again because 'cause you're like, "I survived." Like, I
Mhm.
landed on my feet, I, like, figured it out, like, I can do that again, and I think that is something that, like, is sort of cool to see that kinda keep playing out, you know?
Totally.
That's such a good message, like, the bravery that it requires. It sounds simple, but it's, very scary.
I feel like it
Yeah.
requires a lot of, like, positive self-talk too. I think in all the scenarios I found myself in the past, like, I dropped out of a PhD program, I quit jobs, I moved jobs, I took leaves of absence. I felt like I backed away from a lot of things over time, but exactly what you said, Hillary, it's like once you do it once and you practice it, especially for people who have grown up as people pleasers and wanting to make everybody around them happy, I think that is one of the scariest things is saying no to something when we grew up being like yes people. And yeah, I'm proud of 36, almost 37-year-old you, Hillary. That's freaking awesome.
Thanks,
That is
girls.
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, and Leah, even hearing you like dropped out of the PhD program, like I didn't know that, and I feel like that's kind of cool because it's like I don't know. I feel like it's so easy to sort of have negative self talk or to like see a pivot as a failure,
Yeah.
and it's sort of like I think really important to be able to look at all those things and be like, yeah, but I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for making that decision or no, like pulling the plug on something that I thought was right. Like you go into it with the best of intentions, and
Yes.
then it's like, you know,
Ugh.
that's it's hard to do. Yeah. Yeah. The self-talk, the positive self-talk thing too, like that resonates a lot. It's like I think for me it's been a bit of a stepping back and like holistically looking at everything and being like, no, like these are all the things that you love and are inspired by, and it's like no one thing defines you, you know? It's like and both of you wear
Mhm.
so many hats. Like it's the sort of same thing. It's like there's gonna be times where one of those just feels really hard and you just feel like you're just, like, grinding uphill at it, and it's like, but, like, look at all the things I'm doing and look at all the ways I'm showing up, you know?
It's gotta be tough as a freelancer to do that though, Hillary, I gotta admit, because, saying no to something could be an opportunity and you're risking, you know, other things. So how do you make those decisions and kind of, yeah, decide the priority when things kinda come across your radar?
After many nights of deep, abject terror at 3 AM. Existential life moments. No, I mean, I'm so lucky that Billy is like the most incredible supportive partner and has always been a huge proponent of like, following our hearts and not letting things like that stop us, not letting fear stop us. And so that's been really nice to have that support. And I think, yeah, like, working for myself for over a decade now is so interesting because I just grew up so fearful and grew up in a really poor family and had a lot of financial instability. And so in some ways the life I live is like my worst nightmare, you know? It's like unsteady paychecks that come in irregularly and like just like work that's constantly up and down. And I think maybe life has been just like trying to teach you to let go in so many
Totally.
ways and just like to
Mm.
trust, and so it's like a constant practice. Yeah, it's interesting, but I feel like hopefully for those of you listening, like we all have our own journeys, we all have our own reasons for doing things. I don't think you have to go off and like be a freelancer in order to live your best, most fulfilling life. I think there's so many ways to do that, and I think for me the biggest thing is just being honest with myself and like sometimes that's, like, the hardest part is, like, having that conversation with yourself if something isn't feeling right, and I think we know,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, this you made me think about something Mike and I talked about recently too, which was, I think with the professionalism of trail and ultra running these days, we're seeing a lot of people want to quote unquote make it as a professional runner and make a career out of being a professional runner. And we just got to talking about just the lost art that is just being a runner in the space and like how cool that is. And like, yes, being a professional runner has cool aspects about it, and it can be financially lucrative if you are one of the best, but at the same time, like, there's a lot of great reasons to be in the sport and to work hard in the sport and to train in the sport that doesn't need to be attached to those lofty end goals, and I hope more people getting into the sport see that. Like, I hope they don't see that that is the only path that you need to take is always striving to reach the top, whatever that top might be defined as for you, because there's lots of ways that you can participate in it, be involved in it, and train through it. That doesn't necessarily need to end up there.
And
Yeah.
compete really hard. That's a good point, right? I feel like if we measure success only when you're a sponsored athlete, then that's really, like, kinda letting someone else define it for you.
Totally.
Mhm. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but, like, I think the best thing about our sport is, like, growing and exploring and challenging yourself and doing things you didn't think were possible for yourself, regardless of whether other people think it's cool. Like, I get really sad when I hear about people coming into the sport, choosing the races based on ones that they think are, like, gonna get them more visibility rather than ones that inspire them or they have heard, there's really good culture around or something like that. Like, my example of that is Tyler and I went down to the North Face 50 miler, which was like this quintessential 50 miler that used to happen in the Bay Area.
I did
And
that one, Rach, in 2014.
did
What year were you
maybe
there?
that's I think it was 2015. Shucks. I think I was there the year that
Was it the rainy year?
Hayden Hawks and no, I wasn't there the rainy year. Anywho, we
Iconic
went down
race.
there because we were like, "Oh, yeah, it's a big race, big race." We drove down, Tyler and I drove down, and we were used to this really quaint Pacific Northwest, like, church grandmas serving soup after the race, like, just adorable, like, bluegrass band, and we go down to this race. Sorry, North Face, but we crossed the finish line and they're like, "All right, there's styrofoam cups over there with $11 clam chowder in it." And I was like, "What? Where are the church
My
grandmas with the free
grandma.
food?" Like, it just felt so like a production. Like,
It
it was
was a
not like
level up. Yeah.
yeah, it was not.
Yes.
And sure, yes, the competition was incredible, which is great, but I like the good vibes, like, of the traditional grassroots trail running
Hmm.
vibes.
Yes.
And I think, like, the Mammoth Trail Fest, like, that was a really good mixture of high octane, high visibility, good media, but also true to the culture of the sport.
So true. I mean, it's interesting. Like, I mean, as we look at our years, and I know a lot of people are sort of sitting down to look at their year, it's like, where are we putting our dollars? What are the organizations that we're choosing to support? Where are the places that we're traveling to? And I do think that's really important. And it's like, it's sort of like maybe ironic slash funny that you're doing UTMB this year, Rach.
I was
Speaking of
gonna say, am I a
homegrown races.
hypocrite? Am I a hypocrite? Maybe
I
a
mean,
little
they
bit.
do a
But
lot
I'm
of
in
sort of environmentally friendly things. They are trying to be responsible.
I did have to pay an extra $100 to offset the
Not
carbon
just
from my
not just
flight.
$100, €100. It was 99 euros as the carbon offset from Salt Lake City to, Chamonix, which probably equates to, like, $130, I bet. Yeah, the UTMB
Yeah.
entry fee, if you are going there from Salt Lake City, was $725 this year.
To be completely honest, I am really genuinely inspired by that race. It's very aesthetic. I mean, I know I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. It's not homegrown, but it's still incredible and
And
really
the
cool.
villagers come out, and like there is a huge feeling of like everybody in the towns really does like they're very proud of it. It is a big part of the culture there. And it's like the month of August is sort of like all these nerdy trail runners running around Chamonix with their
Yeah.
vests and their spandex on everywhere. And it's
And
like kind
it's
of cool.
it definitely is a quintessential loop that is amazing to experience. So, Rachel, you're talking about courses that inspire you and excite you. I think that is definitely one of those. And a lot of people will have a rebuttal to that of like, oh, you can go hike that anytime you want. And yes, that's true. But there also is something about the energy of race week and lining up against the best of the best in the sport. It's it is kind of hard to stay away, despite all the baggage that does come with it, I'd say.
The hoopla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leah, what's your calendar looking like for the year?
I keep signing up for things and then I keep trying to figure out, do I really wanna
You're
do
like,
that?
nope.
Um, so
You
right
love signing up for
I
things.
love
That's your
signing up for
MO.
things. I love to lose my money. Right now I am signed up for the Buffalo Run 25K, which, Finn Melanson
Sounds
and
homegrown.
Jules Campanelli just took that over
Yes.
this past year, which I'm really excited about. That's an awesome Utah race that happens there's March race and November races out on Antelope Island, and there's several distances in the springtime here, 25K, 50K, and 50 miles. So 25K, that's in probably in March, and then Broken Arrow Triple Crown will be like that one is on the books. I'm gonna do that. At least
You
I mean,
crazy. You
that is
crazy.
epic. There's
yeah,
a lot of I hear Nike showing up in a big way at that one,
I
so
know, but that's you gotta be
Check it out. ACG coming in hot.
I
I'm
know,
so pumped.
but coming in less hot for the 46K rage. They're coming in really hot for the 28K and less hot
I didn't realize there was so much prize money in it's 28. I thought it was
or
23K.
whatever it is.
23K.
23K.
Okay. I'm like, I
Short.
can't run those. I can't run the extra 5K. It's too much.
I know, it's crazy. Like, I can't remember exactly how much. It's like
So much
$150,000 or
money.
something like that, or is it
Yeah.
more? Yeah.
It's crazy.
But
Yeah.
very exciting.
Yeah,
I mean, that'll be an interesting example of like how that changes the competition and the vibes for Broken Arrow,
totally.
which is similar to kind of Trail Fest, and they have a lot of community stuff around it. And like I'll be curious to like get your guys' thoughts on sort of like what you notice about that experience, because you will get a lot more kind of serious people that are like, this is serious money,
Yeah.
and they're not really there for the like vibes and hold hand at the finish line, you
And
know.
the grandma serving food.
I do
Yeah,
not, I
grandma's
am not a
soup.
fan of holding hands at the finish line,
Have you ever been
personally.
in
What are your
oh,
guys'
you
No
were in a
ties
takes
on
on
race
that?
scenario
day.
with
I have
Landine.
such a good story. Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. I hope she listens to this. I don't think she does, but one of the greatest French trail athletes and I were in a race together, Blandine Lehirondelle. She's amazing. She's also an OBGYN, but we were running the Mont Ventoux 42K, and I just happened to be in France for a conference in grad school, so I like was in Paris at this conference, and then I went and did this race. I had no idea who anyone was, and I didn't even know where I was in the race. Like, I didn't know that I was winning because she had like peeled off to go to the bathroom or at an aid station or something. But a few miles from the finish line, she caught up to me and she starts talking to me in French. And I was just like, ah, je ne sais pas, which just means, I think it just means, I don't know. And then she starts speaking English and she goes, oh, would you like to run together? Like, do you want to finish the race together? And I said, well, I'm just going to keep running my pace. If you want to run together, you can. And then I just tried to like take off as fast as I could.
Let me drop you.
I think I just finished like, 20 or 30 seconds in front of her. But you want to push yourself and see what you're capable of and collaborate with the people you're racing against and have them push you. But I didn't want to just finish holding hands.
It's funny that she would say that because if she caught up to you, like she's kind of got
You
the
would think
momentum.
she would pass me. That's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, I know. And also she is a fierce competitor.
Yeah.
Like she's a complete animal. Like in my head, I'm like, did that really happen? It did. This did happen.
That's a great story. I love that you're like, I'm just going to keep going the same pace. And then you just like take off.
I didn't say same pace. I said, I'm going to go my pace, which now is going to be a bit faster than it was.
Man, if somebody would ask me that, I'd be like,
Man.
yeah, let's run together.
Especially if they caught up
I
with
don't know
you
if
and
I
then
would
they're like,
cross
do you
the
want to
finish
go
line
together?
I think I would run with the person for a while, and then maybe when we got close to the finish line, we'd have to make an executive decision.
You'd try to.
But I don't think I would.
But then it's awkward.
hold.
The longer you've run together, the more awkward it is, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather leave it down
It's
to, like,
just so much more
sprint.
fun to race. Just race. Not in a malicious kind of like I don't like you kind of a way, but in a like a more of a playful kind of way.
I think there's nothing wrong with normalizing good, strong competition at the best level that we can, whether that's winning the race or just like wherever you finish. I kind of love it low key when I see someone finish a race in like double the time of the winner and they come sprinting in like the whole freaking mountain's on fire. And I'm like, good for you. Like, I don't know where that came from, but you found a gear and like kudos to you. I think it's
I
kind of
love
cool.
that.
It's
I
like,
love
it's nothing
that.
about like, oh, I wasn't working hard enough out there. It's like, no, you just got stoked when you saw the finish line and you're just like giving her. And I'm like, yes, that's what it's all about.
That was
I love that too.
my Gorge Waterfalls 50K finish line this year. I was waddling across there, 6 months pregnant, and some guy
Still can't believe you did that.
wanted to have like a straight up sprint off down the finishing chute, and me and Mike looked at him, we're like, please just go. Please.
Yeah. It's not worth it to us.
Oh, dang. I thought you were going to say you engaged in the sprint and you beat him. Dang it.
Rachel would have.
I would have.
She definitely would have.
Oh, man.
So funny.
But yes,
man.
I mean, you should cross the finish line feeling like you've given it all, whatever that looks like, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And on that day, Leah, you were like, I'm good. I gave it all. We're good.
Oh, man.
So funny. It's exciting to look at the year, guys, and sort of like think ahead and start to make plans. And I'm excited for both of you guys getting to put some races on your calendars, even if Leah, you're not quite sure what it is yet. And Rach, I'm so excited for you. Like UTMB is such a like amazing kind of stretch goal and thing to work towards, and like family trip overseas. I'm guessing like the whole crew will go, and like that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
And it's definitely giving Rachel and I some accountability to get out on the trails together. We made the dads do daddy daycare with all the babies. What was that 2 weeks ago? So we could get out for a long run together, and it was lovely.
Cute.
It was so fun. We were like, day 1 UTMB training, here we come.
Yeah, we did day 1 and day 2. We did track workout Saturday, and then we followed that up with a long run on Sunday. So we were off to a great start.
We are. Let's get back to it this weekend.
Yeah.
I love that you guys have the little like Salt Lake support network for that.
It's the best.
So fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
so good. It's so good to see both of you guys. I know that you have babies and sleep to get to and all that, so we'll wrap it up. But thank you to our listeners for, just all of your encouragement and support. We love getting your messages. We love hearing from you guys. We love running into you. So if you see us at races or anywhere else in the community, please come up, say hi. It really like truly makes our day whenever we get to chat with someone that listens to the pod, and we appreciate you guys so much. Also, thank you to Precision for being such an amazing sponsor of the pod.
Yeah, I feel like we dip into our pockets for precision on just about every run we've been out on. Rachel and I both threw down a bunch of gels on our track workout a couple weeks ago and some
Mm.
shoes as well. So check out Precision Fuel and Hydration and use our promo code if you visit their site.
Oh, but the Precision I'm sorry, I just got really excited because the Precision are like, team manager Brad's coming over for breakfast tomorrow with his parents.
Really?
Yes. I love that about Precision, like, we've had so many representatives from the company stay with us in Salt Lake, and I just feel like they're family. They're really, really good humans and, like, a brand that I'm very proud to partner with and have support the pod, so
That is
you
That
can feel
is
good about buying their products. They're really kind.
That is really fun. I mean, I gotta tell you, last year with Hard Rock, I experimented with like every single type of thing out under the sun, and I just really do like the precision gels and the fact they're not sticky, and they're just like, as far as gels go, I don't think I've ever topped them. They're just the best. So, yeah, nice to know they're good people too, good humans behind it, and
Totally.
again, making decisions that we feel good about. That's going to be our 2026 mantra, right?
Love
yes.
it.
All right. Until next time, everybody. Thanks for being part of the pod.